somewhat cloudy and ugly day, but we're back working on the Samurai. I've done some work to it. I know I asked you guys how you liked the gold paint at the end of the last video, but how do you like the silver and gold? I wanted to leave the body navy blue color just because navy blue and gold looks good. And yeah, but I had some leftover silver paint from my flatbed build on my Dodge. So I went ahead and threw it on there. I don't know if I hate it. That's the Samurai as it sits. As you can see, I've done a lot to this side already compared to the other side. Passenger side, I've left blank. Driver's side, I've done the side support pieces for. Still have to do the windshield pieces, but I'll show you guys that. I just did this first, that way I could knock it out. I knew what I was doing to show you on that side. So from front to back, what I've done is welded a 3/16 plate to the body panel, and then I welded some 1.5" tubing up to the back of this A-pillar right here. I also added 2 horizontal gussets, that way this is nice to support it. This A-pillar goes all the way down to the floor and is welded into the floorboard itself. There's also a gusset right here, which goes from this runner all the way up to the B-pillar, which also ties into the body right here with another 3/16 plate mount. For these rock sliders that were mounted to the body panels, I went ahead and mounted this back one to the frame. So yeah, that's this side. And I know some astute roll cagers will know that 99% of my cage is mounted to the body, but then it's also welded into the rock sliders, which is welded into the frame, and you're not supposed to do that because the body's supposed to have articulation, but I don't care. You know, this is never gonna ride right. This is never gonna ride super comfortably. It's a 1988 Samurai on Toyota axles with, you know, beat up body on it. So it is what it is, not too worried about it. This is how it looks. This is how this side looks. So my game plan for this video is it's gonna be knocking out this side as well. You can see it's blank over here. Running the windshield crossbar and the windshield tubes. And then after that we can paint it whatever color I'm gonna paint it this episode, and also rewire it. So that's the plan. Okay, so I almost forgot about you guys. We've got the vertical of the windshield in. We also got some horizontal pieces. I'm thinking about doing 3 of them. Maybe just 1 is enough, but that's how that vertical is gonna look. Before you say it, I know a upside down V is the best for strength, but with all the tube already on this Samurai, the V is not really necessary, especially since there's basically an upside down V with the double A-pillar setup. So I'm not worried about it. The single piece of tube going up is gonna be perfectly strong enough, not worrying about any extra structure there. But that's how it looks. So that's gonna get burned in, and I think I'm gonna be happy with that. And then I'm gonna decide whether I'm going to put 2 other horizontal bars right there or just leave it as that. So I'm gonna burn it in. Titanium welder is welding great. And I'll catch you guys afterwards with some more design choices. All right, so I will just remind you guys that I painted this with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum paint on the body and 3 coats on the cage. So the paint's not that good, but here's how it looks. Here's how the cage turned out, silver and gold. Not sure if I like it, but it's gonna do fine for right now. Next step, it's gonna be wiring it and also throwing the seat in. The seat's gonna be a Corbeau JP extra wide for me, and I'm not gonna do a passenger seat. So that's how that's gonna look. Waiting on those to come in the mail. Here's how the front looks. I actually really like it without any extra bars right there. You know, I could run more bars. You know, you could always run more bars everywhere, but I think that looks pretty clean the way it is. And I don't think I'm gonna gain too much extra if I add any extra. So that's how the Sammy's looking though. It's a pretty cool cage. Like I said, it's kind of beat up in all the right places on the body, but it's got a brand new coat of paint, so it looks cool. And then obviously the cage is there as well. 2 33-pound propane tanks gonna go on the back. Seat's gonna go on the drivers, cooler's gonna go on the passengers. That's the way this 88 Samurai is gonna look. So that's the way it turned out. That's the cage. So I guess whenever I get the seats in the mail, I'm gonna weld the seats in, install the propane and wires. So I'll check back in like a week when I get the seat in the mail. All right guys, another rainy day here, but we're working on the old Super Sammy. I think I'm gonna call it Fool's Gold. I think that's the name it's gonna get stuck with. I went ahead and put a new battery in it. Nice, cute little small battery. Negative disconnect just for ease of access. Power cable going to the starter, alternator, and winch. And ignition is going to go to the switch panel. And as you can see, I actually, instead of making my own switch box and relay box, I bought one on Amazon. And I tell you what, I am super satisfied with how this switch panel turned out. You know, it's just a eBay replica that, you know, all the companies on eBay makes. This one was from Nylite, but it's the same box that they all make. Anyways, for like $100, it comes with its own braided cable, its very own relay and fuse box up to 30 amps, all the way down to 5 amps, and a nice little switch, you know, mounting face for itself. And it literally went together in like 5 minutes, and I'm not completely done yet. As you can see, it's got plug and play wiring. It's a really nice kit. It saves me a lot of time. So in any case, that's how I'm wiring it. This Samurai is going to be super easy to wire. There's no starter button for this, but this is just basically a relay for the starter. Then we have auxiliary power to the switch face itself. And I probably should mention this is a momentary switch, you can program it. Aside from auxiliary power, here's power for the ignition. Like I said, the stickers they give you aren't technically meant for wiring a whole car, so none of them are super accurate. Then we're gonna have front and rear floodlights and then rock lights. So super easy stick scan switch panel, went together in 5 minutes. Super stoked with how easy that is. And I definitely think from here on out, I'll be buying that same switch panel for all the cars since it's literally so much easier and it's what I build myself anyways. As you can see, I got another one in stock for the buggy whenever we get to wiring the buggy. So yeah, they're nice. They're really nice. They're really quick. They're really simple. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, another update. We still don't have the seats, but I mounted my very secretive hidden switch and also ran the wiring for the lights and whatnot. So I'll show you guys. You know, don't mind the wiring. I'm gonna put a loom over it so you won't be able to see the extra runs of cable and everything going right there. But as you can see, we've got some pod lights on the front and some pod lights on the side. The way this all is gonna work is we got main power, which then turns on this Amazon switch box. I should probably put this back on. Anyways, ignition, we got that. This goes to nothing right now. I might put a heated seat in it when I get the seat eventually. Besides the point, we got the front lights, then we got the rear lights. That's how those all look. Should be nice and easy. Those are big relays in there. Everything runs through the relay themselves. And, you know, the fuses are all coordinated with, you know, proper size wiring. So that's the way that works. And then here's starter. I'm pretty sure there's a way to make that a momentary switch, but I haven't Googled it. So that's just gonna be an on and off switch for now. Just be sure to turn it off whenever it does start. And it's really just gonna be as simple as ignition and starter once there's a fuel source. So yeah, that's the wiring. Nice, quick, super simple. Like I said, there's not gonna be a passenger seat in here, it's just gonna be a driver's seat. So not too worried about this area being cluttered with the propane hose as well as the wiring. So that's the way it is. I'll see you guys when the seat gets in the mail. Okay, so we got the Corbeau in the mail. It's like I said, it's a Corbeau JP extra wide. Me being 6'4", the headrest is like in the middle of my back, so that's not quite ideal, but they don't make bucket seats my size unless you get the good old PRP extra tall, extra wides. But for this like $1,000 Samurai, it wasn't quite in the budget for what I wanted to spend, so maybe eventually, but for now we got a Corbeau extra wide. The width works and the height doesn't, so it is what it is. In either case, I'm going to show you my brilliant mounting strategy. This is a piece of angle iron that actually came out of the Samurai. This is what this guy had welded into the body right here. He had it going across instead of any other support. And then using this extra, I'm gonna make a mount that bolts into the seat with the stock seat bolts that then gets welded into the stock cross member right here. And then for the back, I'm gonna tie it in with just a piece of flat steel. So should be quick, should be easy. I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted up and we're one step closer. All right, so beautiful day out, by the way, absolutely gorgeous. We've got the Samurai Part 2 done for now. So I say done for now since I think I'm actually gonna repaint the body, which is like a metallic light silver, to a darker silver. That way it matches that Corbeau seat and the 5-point harness as well. But I went ahead and did a little bit of a wheel stand on the other Samurai, because why not? Get a good look at everything up in there. Shock bottomed out, not that that's load bearing or anything, but you know, shock bottomed out. Got a little bit of a leak coming from the bottom of the axles, actually, now that I'm looking at it, happening on both sides, so that's probably going to be addressed. But yeah, we've got the 88 Samurai Part 2 done. Pretty stoked with it. As you can see, that's how the Corbeau seat looks with the darker gray, along with the 5-point darker gray, and it doesn't quite match, so I think I'm going to change that to like a gunmetal gray for the body. Propane sits in there with 2 ratchet straps. Probably not going to change that, to be completely honest with you guys. Those don't go anywhere no matter what. Double ratchet straps. I think this body is going to have to get bashed up in here just a little more, maybe a little sawzall or maybe just a hammer. Either way, that's how that looks. Coming around to the back side, here's how the upper side looks on it. I'm stoked with that. That's super easy, super quick. Very easy little Samurai project. That's all I'm gonna say. This wiring works great. All you do is flip that down for emergency shut off because it kills the ignition. Flip it back on and you got ignition back on. So very happy with that. Very happy with how all of it looks. It is definitely a new fun project, new fun toy. So yeah, that's it for part 2 on the Samurai. Part 3, we're going to be doing some minor cosmetic stuff like repainting it. I've got a Coors Light shifter knob I'll be installing, and we're going to be testing it. So stay tuned for next week in the testing portion of the 88 Samurai build. I will catch you guys then.